REED-BBS, BBS. Two things can be true simultaneously, right? Two things can be true simultaneously, right? You can absolutely love everything about a particular fighter, yet every now and then, every so often, you can find yourself taken aback, or dare I say, slightly disappointed in that fighter's actions. With that said, the WBA ordered my dude, my bruh, my Tomodachi, Naoya Inoue, to have an agreement in place to face former unified super bantamweight champion MJ Akmadaliev in July. Agreement in place by July, with the bout to take place before September 25th. Now, no one at this stage of the game, you don't throw your weight around at Naoya Inoue. He is the straw stirring the drink at the lower weights. So don't flex on him. I get why this was rebuffed. But let's get to MJ Akmadaliev. Akmadaliev's the best guy at 22, at 122 pounds. Akhmadaliev's the best guy at 22, not named Naoya Inoue. Prior to Inoue, moving on up, like George and Wheezy, moving on up from 118 to 122. Prior to that, MJ Akmadaliev was the best guy at 22. He simply was. 2016 Olympic bronze medalist. He lost to Marlon Tapales. But that was a very close fight, man. It could have went either way. And it's a shame that Akhmadaliev is kind of getting buried in all of this. But, it is what it is. Instead, in lieu of MJ Akmadaliev, it looks like Inoue will be facing TJ Doheny. But more on Doheny in a second. Bob Arum's flipping ass, boxing ignorant response was a slap in the face to hardcore boxing fans, citing how no one knows MJ Akmadaliev. Man, bro, get the fuck out of here with that, man. But I digress. TJ Doheny, 26-4, 20 KOs. He's an Aussie-based Irishman, IBF Super Bantamweight champion back in 2018. The first of his 4 L's was to Danny Roman 5 years ago in a unification bout, which was my first time seeing the Southpaw Doheny in action. From there, he moved up to featherweight. He lost twice more, most notably to Michael Conlon. Then he moved back down, lost to Sam Goodman, who's also in Inoue mandatory. But more on Goodman in a second. Let's table that over there. Including the Roman bout, Doheny lost 4 of his next 6 fights. Now, since then, he's won his last 3, all in Japan. Thus, consideration for a life-changing payday, the lower weight lottery, as I call it, about with my dude, my bruh, my Tomodachi, Naoya Inoue. And in the 3 aforementioned bouts, Doheny, he's carved a niche for himself in Japan, and that matters. That does matter. Bob Arum, I just slighted him, but he was right in that respect. It matters. KOing an Inoue sparring partner who allegedly gave Inoue some of his best, most competitive sessions. Achieving that in the very first round, no less, it certainly didn't hurt Doheny's case. He beat the brakes off that young sparring partner of Inoue's. By his own admission, Doheny is recognized more on Japanese streets than he is on Irish or Australian streets, by his own admission. So he's got a bit of a lovable villain vibe, similar to the appeal Luis Neri had, getting a fucking lifetime Japanese ban lifted. So we're banning you for life, for now. For now, you're banned for life. And then we're going to unban you. We're going to remove the lifetime ban so you can face Inoue. That's how the whole Neri shit went down. But unlike Neri, TJ Doheny hasn't been KO'd previously. And with 20 of his 26 wins coming by KO, that's a clear indicator of punching power. So if Inoue gets careless, man, as he did in round 1 versus Neri, Doheny is good enough to exploit it. He's a legit world-class fighter, like I told you, former world champion. But He's also 37 years of age. Let's just keep it a buck. He's 37 years of age, which ain't the optimal age for any fighter, especially one campaigning in a lower division, third world weight class. It just ain't. Sam Goodman. So the talk is Sam Goodman will get that work in December. He's another mandatory, which brings me back to to my slight disappointment. So you can fulfill Goodman's mandatory challenge, but not MJ Akmadaliev's mandatory challenge. Now, this won't impact Inoue greatly, but it's a bit of a head scratcher for sure, man. It just is. And something, people that are looking for ways to not give him his full credit, to not give Inoue his proper praise and respect, they'll point at stuff like that, unfortunately, for reasons why. There's also talk that this is an Eddie Hearn DAZN slight because so Akhmadaliev and Topoulos fought on DAZN. I'm not sure if Akhmadaliev is a DAZN fighter or with Matchroom per se, but, he has a working business relationship with them. And with that, they already had plans for Inoue and Akhmadaliev to fight on an undercard in Wembley Stadium as the co-main of an Anthony Joshua card. So Eddie Hearn already had all this in the works. He's politicking to have Inoue defend on his undercard. And this might be a way to nix all of them plans fuck you, Eddie Hearn. You go over there. We're going to do this over here in Japan, where this man is a legitimate cash cow. But with all that said, hell, give me Jonriel Casimero. He would have been a better opponent than TJ Doheny. But with all that said, at the end of the day, what I'm going to do, what REED-BBS going to do is watch it. And I'll once again be up early a.m. in America watching my dude, my bruh, my Tomodachi, Naoya Inoue, pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Watching him perform, not fight, but perform. Before I get out of here, shout out to the Breathers of Boxing. Hope you've been checking out my panel discussions with the Breathers of Boxing. Shout out to Loyalty Boxing Fitness. Subscribe, comment. Remember, sharing is caring. Love tap and or bitch slap that like button for your boy. And shout out to the homies at FightBeat.com. Can you step to this? REED-BBS, BBS. Black Burp Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television! Red Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say